everyone. With this, we go over some of the events of what happened in the last adventure. Between y'all taking a week to focus on some skills and utilizations, trying to focus in a little bit more of your medical, magic, many succeeding, unfortunately, some actually failing.
Mm.
But in that regard, you all decided to start to try to make some sense of progressions in terms of utilizing skills. However, after of such, you all kind of regrouped and discussed what to do next, in which case it was decided that some of you will take a trip moving around a little bit, actually deciding to go out and investigate what Zoran's compass actually leads to. While Hannah decided to stay behind and actually hire a little bit of security to ensure the safety of your home. And so
And boy, did
some of
she.
y'all while some of y'all went out to actually discover what is to be a black market like dealing. Deciding to not press further onto the ideas that getting caught may be a bad idea, you begin to make your return. All the while, it seems Hannah had thrown quite the actual raging party at the place. With the very small crowd that you did have, that being only the three bodyguards, having a little bit of a good time. Up until people decided to come into your manor at the worst moment possible and immediately proceeded to get completely bodied. What they thought was a secured and inlined victory after gauging some of your previous capabilities was immediately U turned, and they paid for it with their lives. And which the rest of y'all indeed did come to return to hear about said events, with quite the larger friend still around to hang out a little bit afterwards. But it also seems that throughout your travels, Rex himself had been a little agitated. Otherwise, though, we do come back to a bit of a get together with you all to try to see what would be next for your step by step journey, which I believe still needs to be discussed. And this is where I think we will kick off.
So, the
Have we had
location
time to
Zolan's
rest at
compass.
all?
Oh my god, the mic boom on one of you.
Good lord.
Which one?
I think it was Skull because he's on his phone.
Turning skull
Yeah,
down.
so I probably the one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have we had time to rest? Or is this right afterwards?
This is just kicking off right afterwards. Although I
Okie
do
dokie.
believe if you wish to rest now, y'all could discuss on doing that real quick.
Yeah, I guess up to you guys, because Hannah's chilling. But if you guys are like, oh, let's talk about this, whatever.
I'd imagine it would be later in the afternoon to evening when we got back.
I do believe so, actually. I think it was pretty much on the cusp of the sun beginning to go down, changing the sky into the more orangish red hue.
I mean, there wouldn't really be that much for our side to give. We did pass the image to one of the guards, and they were like, "Yeah, no, these two are bad news. Do yourselves a favor, stay away from them."
Mm-hmm.
So,
I know Hannah would want to express that with those gangsters, uh, gang members from before that had come in and that they completely botted, but that's also probably bad news.
Hmm.
The big lady shines it. Oh, they were gang members? I thought they were just after my money.
No, if it's who I think it was, they were here before. I believe trying to size us up. And they had a personal grudge against the one who owns this place before us.
And I believe that was the attack after they thought they had sized us up.
Hmm. Xanathar's group.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have two options. Option one, we could just ignore them, but they will more than likely send another group. Or we try and talk with this Xanathar individual, try and come to a mutual agreement.
It is very, very unlikely to would gain anything.
I don't remember if my character's done a history check on Xanathar before. I think we did like ages ago.
You have. From what I can recall in terms of your own knowledge, he was somewhat aware. You were somewhat aware of him and the kind of dealings that he had, but you don't know the kind of pull he has in the city or like how impactful he is made based upon the society of Waterdeep. More or less, just a kind of word of caution for Xanathar's gang from your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Zolanos.
Then what do you suggest we do? I personally don't feel like having to hire guards every time we have to step out, or risk coming back to our manor in shambles.
We could look at getting this place up and operational. Officially.
But do you think that will stop him from sending more of his goons?
Well, if we get this place running officially, instead of hiring guards, we're going to have to hire people to actually work tavern.
I mean, true. All right. You know what? It's getting late. Let's say in the morning, over breakfast, we take stock of what we have, stock of what we need, try and figure out what we need to get this place going.
Sounds like a plan.
I suppose so,
Right.
but if we're getting attacked even without the place going, maybe looking into more security or buying that. I don't know. Maybe not in personnel, but
Which is
like you
why
said,
I
we
had
can
initially
discuss it in the
suggested.
morning.
Yeah, indeed, in the morning.
Alright.
I guess I better go then.
We'll keep in touch, alright?
Gives a nod.
I don't see an issue with you staying here tonight if you wish. Just try and not make a mess.
I don't believe we have a
started.
bed big enough. With all due respect.
Okay. She's kind of like wobbly, making her way out. It seems that she did indeed drink a little much.
You're gonna be okay?
I'll be fine.
Alright.
It's everyone else I gotta watch out.
Understood. Zol's gonna kind of tap on the counter for a little bit, see if Patch will get their attention.
Roll me an animal handling.
Oh boy.
It slowly rotates itself to look at you.
motion for it to come here. Alright, little guy, we're going to bed. Pick up. I'll see y'all in the morning.
So,
Well, that.
so where is your bed?
Top floor. Remember
But yeah,
the
so
big room and the slightly smaller room at the very top of the top floor?
she'd be
I mean,
making a bit of
slightly
like
smaller.
a cheeky grin.
Would you like company for the night again?
No, I think you should keep Patchkin company.
Damn.
But yeah, I think Hannah would just get a bit upset.
Okay.
So we'll go up to his room.
Oh, okay. I was gonna drag you. There you go. You all return to your rooms. I will drag Patchkin on. Wow, yeah. With
Sets
that,
up a little nice little bed for him.
you all do indeed return to your rooms, leaving Rex to just sleep on the counter. Okay. So, y'all all resting till morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Morning does arise. As it does indeed come up, no disturbances seem to come this night. The morning sun, as upon rising, you all begin to wake up. Zoran, you usually, as usual, beginning to be the first to awaken. Seems Patchkin, however, seems to be curled into a much more flatter pumpkin, still in very much of a resting state.
Scoops up Patchkin, make sure they stay asleep, and we'll go back downstairs.
Only another animal handle.
Oh boy.
Okay. It does not seem to fight or get agitated in any either case, and actually just kind of begins to wrapping its like greenish vine tentacles around you to like kind of hang on so it can sleep on you.
Hmm. So we'll go probably attempt to make it half decent breakfast, as the others are still asleep.
Yeah.
Put
Do you not?
Patchkin on the counter.
I was gonna say, yeah. There you go. Okay. Roll me cooking.
Straight D20. Would you allow guidance or no?
No.
No? 19.
19. You cook a pretty well-made breakfast. You may label the breakfast as you see fit. In the meantime, though, while you're deciding what you're making, we'll have... I'd say Lindsay wake up next.
Okay. So, Lindsay would wake up. It was a lot of commotion during this party, I assume.
A little bit, actually.
Was
To
it
be
was
fair,
enough
like
to reach the room?
it wasn't an actual party. It was like 4 people drinking together, just having a merry time. You know how some people are when they have like a few drinks in.
Nah.
One of them being a very loud giant woman.
Okay.
who literally casted spells killing people and threw somebody out the window into another motherfucker killing him.
Yeah. Okay. So comedically, for comedic effect, Lindsay's head is just like off her body. The body is just in bed, resting as it would. The pillows scene would be on her head, just like more or less tied together, so you can drown out the noise. Because she knows if she tosses and turns, it's gonna come off really easily. So why not just be still and go to sleep?
I'd say you begin to wake up in your morning, not actually covered in your pillows.
Oh,
You're actually sitting upon Anna's lap. She kind of pats your head as you begin to awake. Literally, your head in her lap.
so that's a visual. So she wakes up. Morning.
Good morning.
Is it over?
I believe any guests had actually went away, yes.
Okay. That was so loud.
I believe I only heard one person being loud, if I'm being honest. Some kind of giant woman.
I swear I thought I heard something breaking.
Oh, they were indeed defending the home.
Oh, defending? What? I fell asleep.
You needed rest.
Hmm. Very well. Can you reattach me, please?
She gives a nod and begins to kind of pretty much straighten up your body, and any time that it does try to move out of place, she kind of smacks it, orders it back into place, putting your head on.
Lindsay just does the minute adjustments. Okay. She sort of has the morning winces, where your eyes are just kind of they want to open, but you feel pain, so she's just squinting.
Yep.
She stretches and yawns as she says, "Let's get dressed. Let's go downstairs."
Very well.
Presumably, Annabelle would help her get her armor on and whatnot.
Indeed. Just beginning to prep your armor and replace it upon you. Cleaning it up pretty much every night she could. And with that, y'all begin heading on down. We'll probably get to Hannah next.
My girl Hannah, punk schnooing. She the EP. She chilling.
Thank you.
I should probably just wake up. Probably the most amount of rest she's had for a while, honestly. I mean, she's had some rest, right? But I think definitely the little shenanigans and stuff really knocked her the fuck out.
Yeah,
So
you
she's
got
probably
out
just
some energy.
actually just chilling. She probably just check her belongings and stuff and look over towards where A-Tune usually would be. A
Yes,
little pillow fort.
He has
Cute.
successfully made a pillow fort out of your pillows.
She'd probably look at that curiously, but not want to disturb it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Let's see, actually.
She'd probably try and peek around or inside.
He would still seem to be asleep with kind of like an open book at his side.
Oh, which book?
If you peer into it, this one actually seems to be a rather old book upon folklore and stories.
Hmm.
If
She'd
you were to
probably
look
just Oh, sorry, you can.
if you were to look at the current page, this one would seem to be that of sprites or spirits laid rest into the forests. The current type of folklore he's reading.
Well, she'll be careful not to disturb the fortress or the book too much, but she'll just gently, quietly call out, "Hey, too.
Uh,
Hi, sweetie. Just want
tosses
to
and
check. It's morning. Just so you know, but I'll let you sleep in if you want. Lovely fortress.
He kind of gives a little smile at the fortress part.
No rush, darling.
Okay.
Close your eyes if you want to, but it's not my fault if you smell something nice downstairs." She'd give a little bit of a wink and quietly get up again and go downstairs.
Very well. Making her way, actually kind of seeing Lindsay like at the door as well.
Hey,
Ah, hello.
just getting in.
At that point, I believe Ark would awaken next. For once, actually not beside your dragon.
Ark would wake up and at first kind of glance around, but kind of pause, not seeing Aquaria. Where did they get off to? Did they wake up before me, or he'll first go and check up in their nest?
It appears that they do not appear to be in the nest.
Where have they gone to now? He'll get dressed and start making his way down to the manor, trying to look for him.
Okay. You pretty much, upon like going through the front door entrance, do just end up spotting them pretty much their head resting on Rex's lap as he still seems to be passed the fuck out on the countertop. Seems they might have gotten up quite a bit earlier than anyone. Or mayhaps didn't go to bed at all.
Seeing this, Ark would smile and just kind of let the two rest. Something smells good.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The liquid you could only assume to be slobber-coated pumpkin making their way up to Hannah.
I would probably reach out to like tap it on the head with both of her palms. Give like little head pats.
Then moves over to Lindsay.
I. God. She just palms it. So I'm not used to them. I'm sorry. Or her. I actually don't know their gender. I'm sorry.
Alright. And what?
Just trying to speak your gender. You know what I'm saying? Can anyone translate, please?
I have no idea.
Oh, crap.
Morning.
Morning.
Cecil has
Well,
arms and hands full of different trays.
Whoa.
sorry, what was Lindsay asking?
She was asking you what was it saying?
DM, would speak with animals allow Ark to understand them?
Let me actually look that up, actually.
It's actually a fair question.
Is it an animal though? It's technically a vegetable or fruit even.
Actually, it would not, actually. If there's a different spell that would work.
Speak with plants.
Hilarious. Yeah, exactly. It's the speak with plants spell.
We can't get that until third level spells.
Damn it! I can test that this would work because it is a sentient creature, even if it is a sentient plant.
It's the sentient plant.
Damn it! All right, there goes my idea.
Mhm.
All right, never mind.
These all come in with a very hearty breakfast, a bunch of different meats all prepared, 2 fresh loaves of bread, 1 probably just for the pumpkin.
It's going nuts.
Some fresh fruits. You name it, probably has at least something for your taste.
Just
Well,
opens his mouth and holds out his tongue awaiting food.
Places one of the breads on the table.
That is so grotesque. Good lord.
this is unique. I will give you that.
They like bread.
They do endow our bread quite well.
All right, everyone, come on and dig in. Make sure to leave some for Rex whenever he chooses to wake up.
Yeah, well. Oh! I'm sorry, I know this is becoming a running thing. Or a problem, but can easily be solved. Annabelle,
Mhm.
upon realization, if being spoken to by anybody here, you can respond. You have permission to.
In what manner would you like for me to respond to them?
What matter? If it's just general conversation, and if you have the knowledge, then you can respond. So,
Very well. I will do my best.
thank you. I kind of noticed that she doesn't really respond to people unless it's me. So, if I just give general permission, then yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's understandable. They are bound to you.
So, if there are any commands, then please come to me.
Of course. Just as I would expect you to have any commands for Aquaria.
Yeah. Although I really just leave Aquaria to you because you know way more. You know, I trust your judgment.
As we trust you with her.
Rex at that point begins to stir, kind of blink his eyes awake. Ugh. Oh.
Morning.
Morning, Sleepy.
Good morning.
Kind of
Slides
Breakfast is
breakfast in front of him.
nods, takes a cup. I'ma head up. I should have gone to a damn bed. Ah.
Well,
Get some rest.
have a good rest then.
He gives a nod, a wave of his hand, and he heads back up.
All right. So last night we spoke about trying to get this place operational.
Yeah.
What do we need?
Money. Well, that's one thing.
Well, that is a given. But I'm talking more in terms of supplies.
A fair amount of alcohol that we can.
I'd say that we start growing things from home, like fruits, veggies. Just if we have it, if we can mill like part of the yard into like a place where we can farm, then we'll have our own sustainable.
Setting up a garden is a good idea, but I think Zoran was talking more about the terms of beverages, alcohol.
Well, I assume you're also going to be serving food as well. That alcohol and beverages are important, obviously.
We'd be doing a bit of both, I'd imagine.
Also, I think if things are homegrown, we can politely charge a little bit more because it's from the source rather than like across from whatever.
True.
We would also know what would be going into these plants since we'd be growing them.
Exactly. Maybe sell products,
Right.
but we're not at that stage yet. Good word.
So we'll take a look at the yard, see what we have to work with, what can be converted into gardens, and then with regards to getting alcohol, seems to me a prudent course of action would be approaching the local brew houses.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we can start with
We
like the
can get
easiest one too.
something-
You know.
Indeed, we don't have to go huge.
Yeah,
Start with something cheap.
honeymead, I think. Right? Honeymead.
Honey.
Honeymead would be
The
nice.
young dragon raises its head, smacking its lips at the mention of the word.
You're just learning something every day, aren't you? That's so cute.
Does its more cat-like stretch?
I'll prepare a plate of breakfast and bring it over.
What other things did we miss that we need to fix in here, by the way?
I think we got most of at least the inside worked out.
We just can't touch the basement ends of it.
Not yet.
No, we don't want to go down into the basement until we know we are on proper
In
terms
good
with them.
graces.
Yeah. That's really hard to ask. Yeah.
That's
Well,
why
something
we
should-
just keep going about our business.
Yeah.
Indeed. We also need to figure out, do we wish to just leave them where they rest, or do we want to find a way to give them a proper burial?
That would be up for them to decide.
You guys found the bodies, right? You were able to.
Hey, we're down there.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, you guys came up with nothing.
The two,
Like it's time for a proper
We-
burial.
we discovered their bodies and, out of respect, left them be.
Yeah.
We should perhaps try and communicate with them to see, do they want to be moved? Do they allow us to move them? Or if so, where would they wish to be rested?
That
Or
I
if
agree
they
with
wish to
that.
remain where they are.
I do agree with that, but there's also the thing where I feel that when this place is at its full restoration, then we've done our part, so to speak, and then we're able to help pass on. And that's why we would bury them.
Even if
That's an assumption.
Yeah, it's assumption. Yeah.
indeed, we should still try and communicate with them to see what it is they want to do,
I agree.
what they would like us to do.
Full on agree.
That would fall under your purview, Hannah.
Two of you spoke at the same time. What?
I said I believe being able to establish communication with the spirits would fall under your skill set.
I was waiting to say my turn of words, but you basically said everything I would have. Communication at the end of the day, and just keep in mind that what they typically need to pass on may not make sense to us necessarily if we do communicate. That much I think is common sense at this point between all of us, but it should still be restated by me.
Hmm.
I'd admit I wasn't thinking of that, but that's a very good point as well.
After all, these things tend to be case by case. It's not like we're dealing with soldiers on a battlefield or anything, or very simple cases. This is quite a personal ordeal. I
Yeah,
think we're all pretty much more mentally equipped and aware to deal with it.
passing on in death comes with a weird terms of service.
Hmm.
So, have we charted out what we're planning on doing for the day?
For the day. Resources, let me think, but uh, we can
Like I
also
said,
look
the
outside.
two. Yes, like I said, the two main ideas we can do: first, look at the gardens of the grounds, see what we could turn into vegetable garden or flower for aesthetic, and then try and visit some of the local brew houses, see if we can't get some well known but not stupid expensive beers to start selling.
Potentially, me and Hannah could go to maybe the Fighters Guild and work as the word's escaping me. Medics. Earn some gold, potentially.
There's a little
True.
bit of gold that can be made there. Last I asked, could make maybe like 8 gold a day on average, depending on how many people come in injured, of course.
Well, then seems we'll be splitting up into two groups then. Hannah and Zoran head to the Fighters Guild. Lindsay, you and I will first start with the gardens, and then, depending on what we find, we then go to the brew house and possibly a garden for some seedlings.
Seeds didn't cost that much, yeah? I realize I'm low on funds.
Depending on what you're trying to obtain, it could be pricey.
Indeed.
Okay, then basic things.
We're not buying anything yet. We're getting an idea of what we can gather and set up.
I understand.
Yes.
I was just more or less thinking about finances. Because, when things get going, we would have to purchase things.
That's why I suggested me and Hannah go get a little bit of money to help pad our coin pouches a little bit.
Fair,
Hmm.
fair.
And while we're there, we can see what jobs are available that we could potentially do in the next coming days.
I also want
Also
to say
true.
that we did sink a bit of money into stuff for traveling recently, so if we do need to travel far, we're looking for money options or other things. I don't see any issue why we shouldn't make the most out of that money sink.
Yeah.
Kind of grimacing.
Very well. So, with the two plans being split, I would say the easiest one to do first, of course, being the checking. Are you just checking out the grounds and stuff like that to see where you want to plant, or are you just checking out the options at the market?
Well, first, I would think we would want to look at how much space we have to actually work with on the grounds,
Yeah.
and like what amount of it could be turned into usable cropland.
So, it's at this point that you're kind of given two options. You could always check out on your front lawn an area to which there is effectively at least 3 by 3 of spaces which can hold a plant each for the most part. In total, I would say not plant a larger plant each. So let me give this. A 10 by 10 is enough to mature 25 plants. So a 3 by 3 should hold, I would like to say, an approximate, if I were to give it a rough estimate number, 5 plants.
Not a lot to work off of, but okay.
It is a start, at the very least. Now, maybe with some renovations, you could make, at the very least, a 4 by 4 area. Or maybe a 5 by 5 area if you actually go to your backyard ground and actually make I would say, you know how you can, instead of digging into your grounded soil, which more than likely, let's be honest here, your soil around this area probably ain't that good. You could get and buy some like dirt, land, and soil. You make what are they called? Like where you have like a wooden foundation around it, and you just kind of set
A
up an above
trough.
ground farm.
Plant box.
You can make plant boxes effectively. At
Well,
that point, you have enough room to make a 5 by 5 at that point of plant boxes.
Lindsay would could take that into consideration because initially thinking about potted plants, noticing how little room they have.
Mm-hmm. Of course, there's always the option at some point to actually turn one of the areas of your own place into an entire greenhouse, which pretty much at that point would double it to a 10 by 10, which would be 25 plants.
Which isn't a
But that'll
bad
take a lot.
idea.
Yeah, but that'll take time, planning, and money.
A lot of money.
Very true. Rough estimate, if you're transforming one of the rooms into a greenhouse for a 10 by 10 at some point, you're probably looking at, give or take, 400 gold for the renovations itself.
Ooh. That hurt.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's definitely a late game project.
At counting the plants, the seeds, and this is excluding any rare plants. It's just mostly, farm like landing plants.
Basic crops that we can easily sell in the bar.
Correct.
Which I'm thinking would be like corn, carrots, celery.
Now, there is somebody
potatoes.
you do have on your team that hopefully will be here by the estimate of next session, that being Rex, who actually has a lot more insight on this. And may have actually give you better bonuses towards this, given his actual experience being a farmhand.
The literal
We could also just use his farm if we wanted to travel.
That is a very big option as well, if you wish to rejuvenate his farm. As you remember, his farm is actually in a state of disrepair because of the current state of Waterdeep, and it has no financial backline.
Alright, well, for now, Lindsay, we'll put a pin in this option. We have some starter ideas, but honestly, it seems to me the one that should be looking at this situation would be Rex. He'd have better knowledge of this than you and I combined.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, but still, we have some options to consider. We'll also consult with Rex and see what he thinks. Hell, we may be able to use his farmland to help.
Hopefully, but I'd rather not interrupt him. I think.
Oh, let him rest. He's probably still suffering some remnants of whatever it was both that's been affecting him in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So, in that case, let's you and I head out and see if we can find some of the local brew houses. See if we can't get some ideas on cost of purchase.
Alright. With that, you all set out to different locations. But let's get to the other group, which, if I am correct, stationed Zoran and Hannah? Alright. So, remind me, what is y'all's current task at hand?
I think we were going to the Fighters Guild to look at doing stuff for money or
healing aids.
Stuff in general. Yeah.
Being healing aids and potentially seeing what jobs they have posted that we haven't looked at.
Let me roll the current events of the Fighters Guild area real quick, as well as see who would all be stationed there in the moment.
Hmm.
Not present. Not present. Not present.
Yeah.
Not present. Did anyone be here today? Oh, they're here today. That's good.
One.
They're not present.
Fuck's sake.
Not present.
Mhm.
Not present. In case you don't know, I just roll a 1d2 usually for every character that I have that is aware to member. Present. Not present. Present.
It's vacation day.
Present. So a good majority of the people here do not actually seem to be here in the moment.
Daddled out doing something related to Fighters Guild. Oh my god.
My word, indeed, it seems that they... Alright, you're not here. You're not here. You're not here. You two are not here, so that means those shopkeepers do not appear to be there. You're certainly not here at the moment. You wouldn't be here if you could. You're here. There we go. You're not here. Funnily enough, you're not there, but you are. And I believe, fortunately, this certain contact of Zol's is not here either.
Yep.
Okay. Let me drag the... Actually, no, I shouldn't drag the watch token, and y'all can do that. So, the place is, overall, has this many people in it, which is honestly a little bit more empty than what you're expecting in the current moment. Now, let me roll the event and see how much of it makes sense, actually.
Ooh.
That is a catastrophic event. Okay. Give me just a second.
Oh dear.
Zola Hannah walk in, see something, 180 walk right out.
Okay. Understood. Thankfully, this is the background stuff I can do while you're coming on in.
Hey.
Definitely seeing less numbers in than usual. A couple of the local people still playing a bit of a rhythm here and there, while others are just gallivanting, kind of getting the start of their day in. It's a little early for people to be in anyway, so you're not seeing the numbers you usually would. But there's still a couple of like early time rising adventurers. You see your employer actually, sitting at a table reading some cards. By all means, everyone seems to be open and stationed.
Seems fairly empty today, though it is still morning.
All right. Interesting.
Possibly see what jobs you have going on before we start poking around.
Jobs and then ask about healing, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right, where's that board?
I believe it was over by the bar.
On the left. Okay.
I believe so.
Hannah would probably wave.
Morning.
You see and notice that they're in the midst of a middle of a conversation, ironically about the specifics of milk. Before turning and waving a smiling hi at them. Noticeably, you're actually seeing a lot of the little. You see the sprites in her art. You're actually seeing a lot of them now around. It's like just like circling around her, having a good old time. Some of them turning into candles, some of them turning into the lights, but then just returning back to her.
Sick.
Oh, hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well, actually. Got up at a little bit of an early start. Love drinking. Helps me wake up a lot earlier than I want.
Same.
Mm-hmm. So,
Understandable.
what's up for y'all today?
Well, I was interested in the healing that was mentioned before. I would like to help out around here a bit more if I can. So
Oh, you
I
gotta
figured
talk to
I'd
Big
come
Man.
in. Maybe I arrived a bit early.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a little early for everybody, but this guy never sleeps, so you should probably could talk to him.
Hmm.
He runs the place.
Yeah. And we're just gonna check the job list too.
I'll bet. Go on ahead. They give a nod and a thumbs up, immediately go back to... Okay, so, like, theoretically, right? If we formed our own organic milk line... saying people pay big money for it. So on the job bulletin today, I would like for both of y'all each to roll me 2d20s to see what I get out
Oh
of the
boy.
job career lines.
Oh jeez.
Oh boy. Ooh.
7 and 5, okay. And okay, I see. 16 and 12. So you get one high-end job, which is actually an extraction of a large creature to return to the arena, actually. It seems one of the creatures had escaped from a barricaded cage and has managed to sneak out of Waterdeep City through the sewers. And they're asking you to return that creature back to its pen. So let me go ahead and type this out. I will begin typing them in D&D info as I'm extracting them.
Mhm. I treat like the rules go in order. Highest, lowest.
Who's rolling?
So this is the first job. And the first job actually seems to be a actual payment of 80 gold per person joining.
Ooh.
So that's 80 each person. That is the 16. That is one of the higher ended paying jobs.
Mhm.
The 12 though. Job 2. That would be the mage aid. Which is a magic caster seems to have caused a mishap in one of his towers within Waterdeep and is asking for someone to clean up his mess. 20 gold per person. Alright. Job 3, which
Seems
is
reasonable.
7.
Mhm.
This is a fun one. Blink dog pack on the loose. Please assist in recapturing my blink dogs. They keep going everywhere. Which will reward
Blink
you.
dogs?
Yeah, blink dogs.
Link.
8 gold per person.
How much?
8 gold per person. Job 4, which is a 5. So, the last one is private shop stolen. My wares at my shop have been taken upon. My boxes keep getting stolen, and I want you to find out who and why. Do not open the boxes, please. 8 gold per person. So these are the 4 jobs currently there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the
Going to make
creature
that.
is this word okay for Horde Fighters Guild, yeah. So if we want to look into the first one, we probably want to ask about the creature that escaped. If it's 80 gold per person, it's probably not going to be an easy task.
No, probably not.
Mage aid, 20 per person. Depends on what needs to be cleaned. Well, first and foremost, we can ask about the creature while we are asking about helping with healing.
Mm.
Simple enough.
And then we
How
can
about we go
discuss
do
with the
that?
others what they would be interested in.
Mm-hmm. Hannah will probably head on over this way.
Okay. Orc appears to actually be passed out on the table.
Aw.
Pass.
Mm.
You're gonna pass out. HD, wake up.
No way.
You're doing the honk shoe.
I was doing hung shoe. Just
I heard you doing the honk shoe.
nah.
The large, towered, armored man seems to step forward. His size, once again, even comparatively to her, being one of the major aspects, seemingly, of the leader of the Fighters Guild. As he stares down upon you all, pretty much having to bend down to kind of take a good look at you. What gonna do the both of you for?
Want to do the talking?
You know what? I've been yapping. You can ask.
Alright. There are 2 things we would want to look into, if you don't mind.
Very well.
The first being the creature that escaped into the sewers. What information would you be able to give us?
The creature itself seems to be that of an amphibian, able to move upon land and water. So for all, blue scales, temperamental at times, escaped through the sewers immediately to help give it an advantage. I believe it might still be within the sewer confines itself. Otherwise, though, they can shoot water as a ranged attack, and they have very, very thick skin. Claws and teeth are what you need to watch out for, though.
Would you allow some kind of check to determine what this creature is?
Make me a nature check.
Nature.
13? Okay. You know that there are a few. To be fair, these are not the highest hint of details, but if you were to guess for which creature could be caged and attempted to use for sport, among other things, you probably think pharaoh gators.
Ooh.
Actually, I mispronounced it. There we go. Pharaoh gators. Apologies. Pharaoh gators are large, pretty much crocodiles on 2 feet. More animalistic than anything else, and amphibious. Very fast in water, but a little slower on land.
Hmm. Something we may want to look into if we want to take this job. The second, me and my friend here were wondering if we could help with being medics, basically, every now and then.
You were to join the medical aid here. Whenever we host competitions or effectively allow people to spar, do matches, the arena itself prevents direct death, but it does not prevent direct injury, which oftentimes allows for many to just still simply spar out whatever they need may.
Hmm.
Otherwise, though, it could be done. How often do you wish to be participants in this?
I would have to talk with my group, see how often we want to put aside some time to be mitigate.
Alright, when do you wish to begin? It is quite basic. If someone has a spar or actually takes upon the challenge in the arena, then you provide medical afterwards. It will take up an entire day. We expect you to be there an entire day if you're wishing to get paid.
Hmm. Mm, we could start today. Potentially. I would need to talk to my friend here about it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well. Carry on, and when you return with an answer, we can get you started on your first days.
Alright,
Now,
thank you very much.
admittedly, some healers are more valuable than others. The more you prove yourself to be capable around here, the more frequent you are around here to help those of the young, inspiring adventurers, probably much like yourselves, the more payment you will receive.
Understood?
Your first full day's charges will differ, but I would estimate more than likely probably 4 to 5 gold a day.
Decent amount.
Gives a nod. If there's any other questions you have, do let me know.
Not that I can think of. Hannah, have any questions?
I think I'm good.
He gives a nod. That done? Anything else you need? Drink?
I think I'm good for now.
Likewise.
Very well. Well, enjoy your stay around here then. Otherwise, bid you a good day.
Thank you.
Or wake the fuck up. Arr! Oh! You too.
Morning.
Morning. What fucking time is it? Anything else y'all wish to do here?
Mhm. I think that's about it for me, at least.
Okay.
The only other thing I could potentially think about doing is going over to talk with the gates a little bit, seeing when they would want to start looking into just looking around for the vault.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. It. Okay. You go at any point, walk on over and start up the conversation.
See our employers over there. If you want to give them a quick chat, Anna.
I'm alright with that.
Alright, let's head
So,
over.
Nova. Yeah.
Okay. You walk over, and as before, they're still just kind of like looking at a pair of playing cards, effectively just shuffling them around, pretty much keeping their hands a little bit busy. They do look over. Oh, hey.
Morning.
Morning. Seems you two have been getting around quite well.
Yes, we
Things
can.
have been a bit hectic, I suppose.
Yeah, I bet. An explosion at your little place has been, fascinating, to say the very least.
Fascinating. A bit concerning from my perspective, at least.
I mean,
I don't
personally,
really know how to deal with the gangsters.
you deal with them like any other schmuck who are usually around, just bap the hell out of them.
A bit harder when they are more higher up.
I suppose so for early gamers. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Would it be alright if I asked you? Oh, no. Do you know anything about gangs around here? Because I'm definitely not knowledgeable.
They give a bit of a smirk and a smile. I suppose that depends on what you actually want to know. Unless I want to be labeled as a snitch.
Well, you say it's alright to be bapping gangsters on the head, but is it really the same if it's Xanathar?
Is more underling people, maybe, but the man's quite the paranoid dude. For a floating eyeball, he's a lot more capable, too, in time. He likes to
Well,
usually gauge people, and every now and again he'll leave somebody alone whenever there's a more pressing issue, or when he doesn't believe he can get away with doing anything with those people.
I
But
mean,
he is an issue, to be sure.
that was
Not gonna
what
be an issue
the
that gets in the
second
way
issue.
of our main job, is it?
Considering he's probably after the exact same vault for one reason or another, he's gonna be a pain in your ass somehow.
I see.
Sounds like this is going to be a constant issue.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe someone will finally give him the kick in the dick he needs. But we can hope.
Well, I can hope.
Well, I
Either way,
figured I'd ask that, just in case it interfered with such work.
he will. I know he will. Especially now that if he knows if you're in the game or not. He's the
I
kind of
haven't
person
given
who,
that away, I don't think. What do you
hopefully not.
think? Lol.
It depends on how close he has his eyes on us. When he started watching us.
Mhm.
Hard to tell.
Either way, maybe you two seem to be capable enough. You've been probably going on an adventure after adventure every now and again. How's the adventure life been going for y'all anyway?
Bit rough at times, but manageable.
I bet.
So we're getting more comfortable. Comfortable enough to function operate from here at least.
They give a smile and a nod. Yeah, well, I suppose nothing big has been happening as of late. Everyone's still trying to dig around. It's taking longer than expected for half of them. I expected a move or two, but everything else has just been kind of people trying to clear the board of the competition.
Fair enough. I
Yeah, they
assume
figured
you'll let us know when bad things happen.
more than likely. Admittedly, though, it's not a bad thing for it to be quiet. Just a little. Uh, could be good, could be bad. I guess we'll find out.
It'll be a mix.
Yeah. Either way, how's that tavern working coming along for you guys?
Well, it's a little bit of
We're
trouble, I'd say. Same
we're
reason
looking
you
into
got
getting it up and going.
Well, whenever y'all do get it up, and let me know. I'll stop by for a drink.
We're going over the rough details currently.
Trying to figure out where we can source different things like honey made or things like that. I've been giving a little bit of incentive to my friends if they can figure some things out or give us a little bit of a helping hand. I'd definitely give a couple of discounts or other silly things like that. You'd be more than welcome here.
Careful giving that to a giant, though. Drink out of house of home.
Oh,
We'll keep that in mind.
so
Hmm.
Hannah would probably just sort of like lean in and whisper a bit. Do you think is anyone here you'd want to talk to about one of the little what was it you sounded black market stuff?
I'd rather not talk about it out in the open.
Okay.
It's nothing we need to get into. Nothing we need to deal with currently.
Smirkish grin on their face.
It's fine. We trust you.
Yeah? Alright.
I mean, you're our employer after all.
Yeah, that is true. Alright. Y'all to do whatever you do to keep up afloat. I'll let y'all know if there's anything going down.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised
Will do.
people have started trying to turn this entire city upside down.
Probably what they're going to be doing next.
I don't know.
I don't think
Feels
there's
like
anything we should be really wary of, do you? If you're saying things like that. Anything you just want to share that paranoia, I don't mind.
Let me give a shrug. Alright, you guys. Y'all go ahead and handle whatever y'all need to handle.
Alright.
Talk to you soon.
Bet. So, what are y'all doing next?
I'd imagine we'd be possibly heading back to tavern and waiting for the other two.
Okay.
So, look over there. It's a badass lady that took care of her bounty. I mean, not a bounty.
I mean, she deserved it.
I'm just saying, she's really cool. I'm okay.
You begin to station and make your way back on over to your manor. And I believe, yeah, you all just kind of reunite. While Lindsay and Ark, I believe y'all are going out into the market, aren't y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll drive you over to the market map then, or the Waterdeep map. Alright, your signature will not be Hannah. It will instead be... well, you're not actually at the market right now.
So I'm gonna just put those job listings in the my chat. Tell me if that's That's like a big TLDR of it. There you go, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Let me find. What do y'all want to be yours icon? Who's gonna be your little icon today? We'll just have it be your token. We'll just do it the torch token.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. So you're heading on up to the market. If y'all want a different interaction as well, go ahead and one of y'all roll me a 1d20.
On a different interaction.
Yeah.
You look.
Never.
Go ahead, HG, if you want to.
Okay.
You're going through an entire city.
All right.
There's
Here we
bound
go.
to be something you see.
Here we go. 13.
13? Overall, you just see up on the streets a lot of different ragtag team of performers. Half of them playing horribly, half of them playing beautifully. It always seems to be somehow a split completely between half and half, both of them playing at the same time. This happens the entire way through the main road.
Oh.
Oh,
Up
boy.
until you reach the market. The entire
What?
miles-long roadway is lined with people playing music.
Can I?
What? Go on.
Can I roll for sensitivity?
That would be wisdom save, actually.
Wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no. It would be your physical body, so it'd be a con save.
It's, okay.
18. You're managing to block it out quite a bit.
Yeah. Just like all the noise in one long strip is probably gonna get to her at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of be looking around, be like, what's this with all the music? Are they preparing for some sort of festival or something?
I don't know, but it's pretty rowdy.
As quick as I can.
Oh, is it too late to mention that Annabelle is coming with them as well?
No, you can bring Anna.
Okay, cool. Annabelle's with
Let's just try and get to the market as quickly as we can and hope that it's quieter.
Yeah.
You make it to the marketplace where, oddly enough, it seems that immediately the music stops the moment you walk past the front of the gate of the marketplace. And you recognize a very large tower which seemed to have returned to the marketplace.
Fuck.
So this is the Fester's Tower.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, he's back. Okay. Well, if anything, at least Senna would be good. Just to know that.
Yeah. So what do you say? You want to go in?
Something tells me he may not have the information we're looking for.
Fair enough.
Besides, you and I don't really know what he is all about. That would be more along Hannah's line.
Yeah, I've been inside his tower before. I don't think I purchased
You may have, but I don't recall being in.
I don't remember what I bought. I don't think I bought anything. Wait, Tyler, did I buy anything?
No, it was a little bit outside your immediate price range.
Ah, okay, yeah. Remember, I went to the market and I did go into that tower, but I forgot what I bought.
Didn't they buy like a basic ring or something?
Yeah, but that was from a different stall, I think.
It was from a different stall.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's avoid the unnecessary expenses for now.
Indeed. Let's look around, see if we can find somebody to ask about local breweries.
Maybe the ones running the drink stands, perhaps.
I don't want to go into any of the local taverns because if they hear we're trying to open one, they may think we're trying to move on in on their territory.
Oh right, and I hate that. Well, technically, it's not even their
There's
territory
only
where we're gonna be doing our thing. It's outside this area.
still there are only so many mouths to feed in a city.
That's true. Okay. Um. Mister. Lindsay would like look around and see if there's any sort of obvious points of interest.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Perception.
Alright,
Like,
3.
oh Jesus God, I'm
You
blind.
try to look around, and almost immediately, a piece of sand gets in your eye.
Ow! Mm. Ah,
Ark, can Ark take a look around?
Roll me a perception check. 12. Roll me a 1d100. See if there's anything interesting going on. $47. Okay. Okay. Let me see. 47 will get you. I see. You immediately see an old man rushing towards you. He seems to be holding a sword and yelling out, "They are coming!" as he seems to be running wildly towards, potentially past your direction.
Ark would immediately put a hand on Lindsay and kind of pull her out of the way, kind of stepping back.
Ah, ah,
Look out!
ah. He seems to just be heading for the gate to leave the market.
Lindsay finishes rubbing her eye.
What is their problem? Who's coming?
They are coming?
They who?
Good question. Lindsay also unsheaths her fork.
Just looking around to see if anybody else is running in this same direction,
Same.
or is anybody even paying attention to this individual?
See, that's the interesting part. Many people seem to just be, like, looking in the direction, and it's just, well, kind of just blinking, curious as to what the hell's going on.
How
Okay,
far beyond the market can we see? You know what I mean? Like
Huh?
can we see past the stalls? Or are there
we see
buildings?
the gates.
You can see from one end of the gate to another, kind of like a roadway in a way,
But we can't
where it's
see
like there's
past that.
multiple exit points. You can't necessarily see too far past it, mostly because of crowding.
Like I was running.
People.
We're gonna see like a bunch of bastards just running in all of them.
You oddly enough, you just see people just kind of stop, blink, stare at the man, and then just like immediately like continue about their day.
Okay, the individual that just ran by, did they seem like well dressed or like
They
well
seem
armored,
almost
or do they
like
seem kind of roughshod?
in dressing, actually, weirdly enough. Just very unkept hair, but everything else seemed to be pristine condition and like well dressed.
He didn't look homeless, so he wasn't tweaking.
Well, do we follow along and investigate, or do we mind our own business and continue along?
Say money or no money? Good question. Personally, I don't mind getting in a little bit of trouble. I can really use the distraction.
Follow along we shall then.
Yeah.
Ark will just kind of turn and start walking, following the man's direction.
Lindsay will bring up the rear.
Make me a perception check to see if you can spot this man who's got quite the head start. 19. Ark, you immediately spot him trying to catch his breath in the middle of the roadway here.
Ark will just kind of walk up and just kind of like wave to get his attention. Friend, who is coming? Why are you in such a rush?
And another one being that of a 16. Okay, you both spot him and just begin to walk up. Stay back! Back, heathen!
What? What? I'm trying to help you.
I will no longer be prisoner to your marriage!
Marriage?
How close are y'all?
Good question. How close are we?
COVID distance.
So 10 feet?
I'd say we would stop at a good 10 to 15 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, he seems to be pointing a sword at you.
Lindsay not wanting to attack the civilian, just sheathed her.
You don't knock your enemy. Ark hasn't drawn any weapons yet, so he's just kind of holding his hands out to his side. Friend, lower your weapon. We are not your enemy.
Day in, day out. The wedding recitals. The money, the cost. Nothing works.
Okay. Please just breathe in, breathe out, lower your sword, and let's talk. We want to help you.
No more talking, no more wedding. He continues to try to run away.
What wedding?
He's going to be a danger. He's going to be a danger to himself or to somebody else if he's not stopped.
Oh shit! Good point. Screw it. After him.
Now, 20 feet. He is about 20 feet ahead of you. Y'all begin to book and sprint after him. I would say, make me. All of you make me acrobatics check, and he will make one of his own.
All right.
You have to beat a 4.
Stand by.
Better beat a 4. 10, 20. Y'all close the distance here within 5 feet of him. No!
Where are we, by the way?
You're still running down this central road about here, so that'd be estimated you're basically right here.
Oh, here.
Y'all don't get very far. Y'all literally get to right here.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, is the man's back currently to them? He's not looking back at them?
Yes, because he's running for his life, so it would seem.
Okay. Ark would move to try and tackle him.
Roll me contested athletics. Roll high.
Oh my god, no
Roll
way.
high.
Wait, what?
That's a natural 20, which means it also takes into control the commoner's stat sheet, that they're matched.
Oh. Wait,
so effectively, you basically grab hold of him. He doesn't go to the floor. You cling on to him. You're still running at even pace with each other. You just have a hand on him now.
I want. You know me.
Go ahead.
I want to do something daft. I'm gonna run past him.
Okay, I would say that would be possible.
Okay. Not to beat that same 20, or is that gonna be a different one for me?
You're pretty much just 5 feet ahead of him. What are you trying to do?
So she's trying to run past him far enough to just quickly turn around and just fucking yank a clothesline.
This is going to be interesting. Okay. So, this is what I'm going to say. You're already 5 feet ahead of him.
Yeah.
Do you think 5 feet is enough, or are you trying to stop from, or are you trying to get ahead for more?
No, I'm trying to. The 5 feet is enough because it's just the sudden trip.
Very
Sudden
well, then.
clothesline.
Yeah, try to like
So, I
sweep
would
his leg
say
out.
Yeah.
roll me base strength.
Base. Sorry. Base strength.
Just click on the strength. Look where it says strength.
Oh, okay.
Not a save, but it's pretty much the same score.
Fuck.
So that's a 20.
What
He
does he
is
say?
making a dexterity save. Both he and Ark are going to now make dexterity saves.
Okay.
Ark, roll me a pass. He fails. So Ark, what you see a little bit is effectively your friend to run ahead, and the guy immediately gets clotheslined, does a double backflip into the floor, while you just in time to avoid duck under Lindsay's arm, preventing you from having the same result. The guy is stopped and God, roll me, I would like to say a 1d4.
Whomst?
Uh,
Me or both?
That would be you, HD.
Okay.
yeah, because it was your arm that knocked him.
You
Two.
do 2 damage to this guy. And he seems to be on the floor. Ah! 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 My back! Ah! My jaw!
My homie say.
Ark would immediately move to just kind of pin him down and get his weapon away from him. All right, friend. Calm down before you hurt yourself or somebody else.
Lindsay just adjusts her shoulder in the anime pose.
Oh, let me leave.
If we let you leave, you're going to hurt yourself or someone else. Now calm down and talk to us. What is going on?
A shadow begins to be casted over you, Ark, as someone begins to step up.
Oh no! Oh.
This woman,
Ark would.
with black hair, black lipstick, sharp, piercing yellow eyes. You'd estimate probably 9.4 in terms of height. Walks up and looks down at you. Oh, you caught him.
Ark would kind of glance over his shoulder. Indeed, he was running through the streets wielding a sword. We were worried that he would either cause harm to himself or some innocent.
Can I pause for a second
Hopefully-
and note that you missed an opportunity to go down this street?
I'm fully aware. He would have to go to the immediate left though, and then somehow take a right,
Yeah,
while being mad.
continue. Sorry.
She kind of just looks over. Huh. Well, thanks for stopping him for me.
He was babbling incoherently. Something about the marriage and decisions?
Yes, my sister's getting married, and he needs to actually be the one to placate the marriage. Come here. It just reaches down, trying to grab him.
Ark will get out of the way.
No! 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 And she sprouts wings and begins to fly.
Can we have payment? She's gone.
She kind of blinks down at you, hearing the payment part. Thanks.
Wait, sorry,
At the very least, we see. No.
The most I offer you is an invitation to the wedding.
Ah.
Thank you very much.
Sure. I'd seen this
Okay.
fuckers.
Tosses down 2 pieces of paper at them.
Sweet.
We'll
Ed
grab the sheets.
seems to take off without another word. As all in the distance here, no!
Just deserved,
The pain
in
of
my
a wedding
opinion.
planner.
You can tell me because you're scared. You're gonna run through a street with through the streets with a sword out. You're gonna point it at random people because you're panicking. Karma, just do karma.
Agreed. And very nice move, by the way. I was lucky to have barely ducked it.
You know me. Just channeling my inner Monty-Home.
I love
I have
that.
no idea what that is, but let's go back to the market.
I
Alright.
fucking love that, man. You immediately move back to the market, and what is it you're trying to look for?
Somebody who would be knowledgeable in the local breweries.
Uh, well, hmm. There's only two types of people who would be good for that sort of thing, and that'd be the people who actually factory attempt to make the brews themselves, which would be home-owned wineries and such, or it would be taverns. Let me look in terms of Waterdeep wineries. So, from what you could see, you don't actually see a winery in terms of the area of Waterdeep, actually.
Hmm.
All you do notice is there are taverns, and that would be your source of information if you wanted to learn how to effectively know where to get supply.
Well,
Unless
I
you
guess.
decide to seek out a winery out like that's outside of Waterdeep, because apparently the market doesn't have one.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I suppose our best bet would be to find one of the local taverns, I guess. Seems to be a distinct lack of wine distributors here, though. Perhaps that could be something we could look into in the future.
I agree.
Anyways, guess I'll start looking for a tavern that's open this time of day.
Lindsay would follow
Uh,
suit.
There's a couple of them. There's the Crow's Nest Tavern. There is, as you already know, the Iron Cake. And effectively, those would be the two main ones that are open. Everything else being more or less stop by ports and such, or housing areas.
Well,
In terms of nearby areas, anyway.
which one do we want to go to?
Well, you can go to both.
Through. All right. Well, pick one and let's go.
You would remember the Crow's Nest being a lot seedier of a tavern.
Wait, sorry, seedier.
Actually, I think less inviting.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go to the keg one first.
Okay. Whatever works.
In which case, you start making your way towards the Iron Cake. In which case, these two would actually be on your merry way to somewhere else, really. You may drop yourself down. I believe for Arc, I could actually just have to. There you go. Drop yourself down, HD.
How do I drop myself down?
Just go to your journal. Drag your token in.
Oh, never knew.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You open up to the front, very huge doors of the Iron Keg. Coming up, you see what you probably would have relatively seen it like before. Actually, let me see if there's at least one or two characters would have woken up, because it would have been actually a few hours after y'all had come in. Yep, They would have actually come by. Nope, they would not have come by. And yep, they would have come by actually. Alright. So that means you would be here. And that means you would be here. Okay.
And I assume the two big folk are there as well?
The giant woman and orc are definitely still here. Mm. And from what I can reckon, we should probably host something in the arena, even if you don't have your water squabbles. I get it, the young'uns need a bit of practice with monsters, and they're very good for younger fighters' teams to combat against, but we can make do.
Hello. Long time no see.
Mm. Who are you? Oh, yeah!
Good to see you, friend.
Yeah, small cough there. You're right.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Takes another puff of what appears to be this pure black, like, smoke and puffs it at you.
Hey,
Balls,
watch
huh?
the second hand.
Sorry. And immediately, the big man kind of leers over. Is there anything you require as well?
Just a little light info. Shakes hand.
Kind of grabs your entire arm, shakes. Alright. Take a seat up. I'll hear you out. Just give me a second. Seems to
Of
be kind
course.
of like moving over to finish pouring in a couple of more of the vintage ales. Are y'all just lingering about until then, or is there anything y'all are doing?
Just lingering for now. Not sure what else to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. And eventually comes back on out. Right, so what do you need?
Do you want to handle this, or
Well, correct me. Okay, I'll handle this if you correct me if I miss anything. But basically, we want to. We're trying to run our own like thing, a little ways out of town, and we are in need of resources, and we're trying to sort of just research our own uh distributors, if that's the word I'm looking for.
we've recently come into possession of an old bar of our own and are looking to try and get it working. But we need to talk to distributors.
That's the specifics I would need. You understand, like, the place is more of a guild than a tavern or a bar any day. Sure, people come here for drinks and stuff like that, but I don't exactly have the highest ended stuff that's for events.
No. We're not looking for high end.
Of course, but
we're just looking for a basic starting point. A source.
Let me finish.
Of course.
But for the most part, everyone gets their same usual compartments of different wineries, brews, and things like that from outside the city. It's better that way. It comes directly from the sources, usually the farmlands and the different wineries. They're 2 to 3 days usually outside the city, I would say. And usually, people like us just meet the contractors, go in, sign a deal, and then you buy in bulk. they get it shipped and sent straight to your tavern. It's the easiest method.
I see.
Now, who you sell to and who you buy to, I can't help you with. You're gonna have to search out where to find your contacts.
Indeed.
Well, yeah, we're
Well-
just mainly looking for a source anyway.
If you want any personal advice for that, I recommend asking her.
Yes, we are very familiar with her. She has helped us in more ways than one. But you mentioned distributors and vineyards. Any chance we could acquire the information on who to talk to there? Where to go?
Drink for where to go and where to get it from. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
give you much,
Of course not.
but there are options you have. Most of them are still just on the roadside, 2 to 3 days out of the city. Plenty of them to choose from. Take a walk, take a ride. Pick out the land that you think would be the best for it.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
He just gives a nod. Oh, and careful if you do take advice from her. She's quite experimental.
Understood.
He gives a nod. Goes back to cleaning off some dishes.
Well, well, we could either head back to our home and meet up with Zoran and Hannah, or since we're here, we could kind of points over.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's not waste any time here. You know. Let's just talk to her and then we can go afterwards.
All right, I'll follow you.
Alright, as you approach, immediately this one chimes in the conversation. They still seem to be happy. I'm telling you, person-made milk would be a lot more expensive than cow-made milk. It'd probably run a bigger profit.
What?
Yes, but do you understand how many hours you'd have to spend pumping? God, it would be a wreck on your body. Can't say I endorse it.
I would imagine that would be very uncomfortable and painful for the individual.
Wait, what? Oh, maybe.
Lindsay just grasps her chest. She's like, ah.
Itty bitty. So this immediately gets clapped down by the bigger woman.
Oh my
Right.
God.
So, anything you need.
Ark, just a smirk, just glancing over at Lindsay. Go ahead.
No, I just do it. I can't just go sit down somewhere. She walks away.
Right.
Well-
Sorry, you overheard that. No, yeah.
I am not sorry.
What do you want?
Well, as you may have heard, or not if you were too engrossed in your conversation, our group is looking to get our tavern up and running. We got some information from our good friend over there, but he also said to speak to you about some possible advice and options.
Oh yeah. Well, it depends on like, if you're just wanting the regular stuff, I recommend just going to a winery. If you want to take the regular stuff and turn it into some pretty cool shit for like a lot of different races and like other properties, I'm usually the one that kind of does stuff.
Okay. Good to know. Well, like I said, we're more just trying to get our legs, trying to get started.
I recommend just a regular winery, my guy. I'll be honest. Like,
Do you have any recommendations on who we should visit?
Pilfort's Winery seems to be open to newcomers.
Pilford's Rhino. Alright. Mark will kind of make a little note of that. Any other suggestions?
Everyone else is very negotiable, and usually one of the same if you're just buying the regular shit. You shouldn't have a problem either one you go to, but Pilfort's is the only one I recommend because they're a lot more easier on newcomers.
Good to know.
Understood.
Right now we can use all the help we can get to get going. Which, again, thank you again for the help you gave last night.
I think nothing of it. Y'all literally just gave me a place where I could smoke and drink, so. Can't do that here anymore.
I can't imagine why.
Immediately he chimes in because she killed people.
Gee. I wonder what gave that notion.
Argo kind of fire back. Yeah, she killed some people at our place too. Only they were trying to destroy our home.
Well, best pray no one annoys her when they aren't.
Indeed, we would like to stay on her good side. Better to have one of her talents at your side than in your path.
I mean, I can make it sound like I'm some big. I don't know
Yeah?
how to take this. I don't like getting complimented all of a sudden. Stop that. Aw, but you should get complimented.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right.
we have some options. Thank you very much. Lindsay, let's go. Let's head back and meet up with the others.
Yeah.
At least we have something to go off of. Thank you again, and good luck with your discussion.
Good luck with your milk.
Will do. Let me know if you want to buy some.
I'm good.
As they're walking out the door, Argo just kind of say to Lindsay, "I don't know. That could be kind of a niche market."
Yeah, for those who have kinks.
I don't know that much money. All I gotta say is one of my characters already has a cow-made outfit. You'd see them in it like instantly. Like,
I don't want to.
I mean,
I can make money.
I mean, let's face it. It's Waterdeep. Everybody's got their own private fun times.
Now, okay. Well, now I know what needs to happen next.
We're not milking Marcus. We're not doing this. Take that thought out your
No,
mind.
that's someone else's job right now.
Oh no. Oh no.
They fail. They. You just as you leaving and close the door behind you, you hear against the wall.
What?
You hear something slam on the wall behind y'all.
Is it this chick?
Yes, she was tossed.
Her poor's fine.
What happened?
No, she's fine. She's got some
Airbags.
ample cushioning. Let's go.
She takes 9 damage.
Oh my god.
So y'all return back to your manor.
I think so. Yes.
No, you did not just say that she got thrown 95 fucking feet.
You did.
I mean, everyone else in this call, we know about a certain set of holes.
Don't fuck with the potion maker. They have enough hill giants that not hill giant. They have enough storm giant strength potion.
Oh my god.
Ooh, darn, that's like you.
So you all return, recuperate, and regroup, meeting back at your central bar. And
Ark's just
immediately kind of just blinking from the entire experience unresponsive.
What?
Welcome
Ark's
back.
just kind of chuckling to himself about the whole conversation.
Lindsay's still in fits.
Did we miss something?
Milk.
A very interesting
You need
dis-
to explain.
a very interesting discussion about the alternative milk source between our giant friend and someone who was associating with her.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, she was pretty hot. Like,
They were
conversation
still
like
talking
this.
about it? They were talking about it this morning.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yes, well, apparently the conversation ended with the smaller one getting thrown across the bar. We heard her hit the wall as we were exiting.
She
Oh,
did
damn.
not look well. I looked back and she was sliding down the glass.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Remind me not to get on her bad side.
agreed.
Hmm.
Anyways, we had a little bit of luck. We got some information. We were basically told our best options would be to go directly to the sources. 2 or 3 day ride from here. We were given the name of a winery we could potentially talk to,
Hmm.
but also our giant friend also suggested that if we are looking to get into some more of the exotic beverages for races, she might be willing to help us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But a
Yes,
name,
we were given.
Pilforts came to mind.
Yes, the one that we were suggested was a place called Pilford's Winery. Apparently, they're not too rough on new faces.
That's good to know.
Oh,
How about you
nice.
two? How about you two? How did your ventures fare?
We did look at the job board. I did write some notes down. 4 different jobs, if you're interested. Largest
Oh.
paying one's 80 gold per person.
What?
And she would just like have the little notes and she'd probably hand them around. It's the little notes I put in no mic chat.
Please check no mic chat.
Please check the no mic chat.
Ark would look at the 80 gold job. Creature in the sewers? Back to the Fighters Guild?
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would assume a Pharaoh Gator.
A pharaoh? What?
I've heard a name a few times. I haven't personally seen one. It's likely amphibious, shoots water, watch out for the claws and teeth.
I can't wait to have a sword fight with something that it doesn't use a sword. With a fork.
If
especially.
it's 80 per person, so it's not going to be an easy thing to do.
No.
But it's not impossible.
And I'm assuming they want it back alive, considering they want it for their arena. So we would have to try to capture it and transport it back.
Which means we would need to purchase some less than lethal equipment.
Imagine if you could make it tiny. That'd be nice.
Wait, I have butter knives.
Oh.
If we do end up doing this, my main form of damage is magic, so I'm likely not it's going to be much use.
Likewise.
I mean, in a pinch, I suppose my ensnaring strikes could be useful, but
I also wanted to note that we inquired about doing healer work at the guild as well. Of course, I was given the number of like 8 gold or something per day, but because we're just starting out, or we need to, work our way towards certain things, probably looking at
Work up
4 to
reputation.
5. Work up the rep.
Hmm.
And it's still dependent on if there's actually work that day.
Oh, I
Wouldn't
almost
want
forgot
this-
as well. Lindsay and I got invited to a wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh?
Oh yeah. What a what a great interaction that was. Wish you got money instead, but fuck it.
When we were first going into the market, a well-dressed individual came running by, rather, what's the word I'm looking for here? Frenzied, rambling about wedding decisions and choices and this and that, while also brandishing a sword.
Yeah.
We felt it would have been dangerous to everyone to have him keep running, so
Yeah.
Lindsay and I decided to give chase and try and stop him.
Oh,
The individual
did I
that
stop
was
him?
following. Indeed. I managed to grab him, but before I could do anything, Lindsay pulled some sort of clothesline move and knocked him on his ass.
She just kisses her arm muscle.
I only just managed to avoid. But yes, the individual, a dark-haired, winged individual, came by and said that the person in question was apparently the wedding planner for her sister. And as she flew away, Lindsay made a comment of wanting payment for our services, and in exchange, he'll set down his invitation. We were offered invites to the wedding.
What does it say?
Okay.
I actually didn't read it, honestly. We should take a look.
What's it? Is it some popular family?
DM?
Do y'all open up and read it?
Yes. Lindsay
Yeah.
takes out her.
You open up this seemingly still well adorned and decorated, almost dark bluish piece of paper, which, in well cursive writing, reads, "Welcome to the marriage of ironic proportions. Haha. Yes, I indeed get the joke. Whereas our dear Irony will be married to Billsford's..." It doesn't say a last name besides Billford's.
For
Okay.
fuck's sake, though. Billfords and Pillfords are completely different things.
Billfort is the area. Billfords seems to be the person.
Yeah.
Could is there some kind of like history or like whatever role it could do?
Would we
like,
If
recognize
there's
any
any
of
kind
the
of news
I could do a roll.
that might have
'cause-
heard around?
Alright, go if you want. You can make me a history check.
Who? Just HG?
Anyone who would try to actually recall the name Billfords.
Due to their overall look, it seems like nobility, so maybe Lindsay would know. History.
Yep, Lindsay will know.
Jesus Christ.
Well, ironically enough, Lindsay, you would recognize them not as necessarily as a family line that is actually known for nobles, but a family line that has served nobles as effectively mystery hunters. In terms of the actual name, you see, Ford isn't necessarily a last name, but it is an attachment to a first name in terms of their heritage and actual culture. Kind of like how certain names only come with one statement to it. Artemis, things like that. So Billfords is effectively one of these people who had come from this tribe of mystery hunters, effectively, who helped solve unsolved cases throughout the lands.
Sorry. The conspiracy theorists that don't conspire, but solve the conspiracies instead. Huh.
Hmm?
Coincidence.
I guess my question for the check was like if there's any news in the area about a wedding or like some family thing.
Ah. Overall with the 12? In terms of it, for the wedding itself, it seemed to have probably been kept a little bit quiet, but there has been stir that a lot of people have been gathering a lot of resources and stuff, catering around one area in the market. But whenever asked, they simply said the fact that they could not tell someone. Now it
Ah,
seems it's finally being revealed as to why no one could say a word.
Wait a
Mostly,
minute.
ironically, probably at the threat of their life.
I
Wait a
see.
minute. Lindsay,
Mhm.
remember all that noise we heard on our way in? How much you want to bet that all that had something to do with this?
Yeah, but it was in completely different places. I mean, well, for context, everyone, we ran into a more or less rolling street of just complete music. It's pretty loud, but
Oh, you're by the music area.
yeah. Well, it was along the main street, honestly.
Yes, on our
Yeah,
way to the
past.
market. Oh, and one other thing we noticed, he's going to glance over at Hannah. A certain tower has made its reappearance.
Ah,
Honestly, a good thing that you didn't come with us, otherwise, I don't know. It seems like anytime there's mention of him, it gives you slight PTSD.
That's why I did not say his name.
Ah. Oh, I didn't. I don't say his name because I don't want to remember things that cause people pain.
I'm just concerned.
Though, arguably, amongst my travels with Devlin, at that same market, he did appear there. So it must be just a normal place he shows up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Anyway, but yes. Anyways, yes, it seems Lindsay and I have been invited to the wedding, at least to attend. Though I
Are
will
you
say,
actually
I am
going
sorry
to
for.
go?
was that Hannah?
Ark's going to look at the card for a date of the event.
It appears that the specific date is directly 2 weeks from now.
I mean, assuming we're not off on another who knows where.
I mean,
Though this does mean that I'm going to have to get my costume from the tailor.
I'm not showing up
Oh, that would be
in my
lovely.
costume. It's way too weird looking to wear.
Ark just kind of looking at his coin pouch. 7 gold short. Oh well. Alright, so back to the task of the jobs here. I admit this 80 gold does sound promising. It would be... But as Zoran said, it would be difficult. Because we would have to try and do non-lethal takedowns.
Preferably
And then,
knockouts. We would have to probably buy a good amount of rope, at the very least. Maybe chains if we can afford it.
Alright, let's look at the others here. Wizard Tower cleanup? I mean,
It seems there was some mishap in one of the towers that they need cleaned up.
I suppose
Could
that could be...
feasible.
Depends on the nature of the mess that was made.
My thoughts exactly.
I mean, at the very least, we can go and take a look. Worst we can say is, unfortunately, it's beyond our expertise.
Hmm.
And these last two, blink dogs, I don't believe I've ever heard of that before.
A blink dog sounds like it's something that goes invisible, or is in the cusp of your vision, but you never get to fully see it, which means that they're probably friggin' feral, and it's one of my worst nightmares.
And then
Nature? Question mark.
Uh, it's not a high roll for nature, sure. May roll nature. 13? It's enough. Blink dogs are very much so like Fey-like dogs that can blink into the ethereal realm and reappear at a moment's notice. Mostly between small intervals of time.
They're time-traveling puppies.
Not necessarily time traveling, more
more like dimension hopping.
But more like space warping puppies, if anything.
Honestly, probably not worth the price.
Right.
Blink dogs can be a bit finicky.
And
How so?
then this last one,
They tend to, I believe, shift into the ethereal realm short bits of a time.
Wait, shift into what?
Planar shifters.
For 20 gold? We have to deal with ethereal things?
No. For 8 gold, we would have to deal with ethereal things.
That's
20 gold.
even worse.
20 gold is 20 gold is the wizard cleanup, which is now sounding more and more enticing.
Wizard.
Keep in mind that is for a pack of blink dogs.
How much is a pack? Like 6? 8?
Depends on the pack.
Oh god.
So first off, trying to find them, track them, and then get them to stay on this plane I feel would be too much of a hassle.
I don't know shit about
My thoughts exactly.
Especially for
So then that leaves this last one here. Shopkeep having his goods stolen, and we are warned not to look in them.
Basically.
I don't know, but that sounds kind of shady to me.
Well, arguably, what they do afterwards is none of our business, and we're still getting paid for it even if we don't look inside. So, I mean, things become our business anyway, so we might get paid a bit more for something down the line that has to do with him, and then we have to kill the guy, and then we have to discover what's in those boxes.
If anything, all the jobs we've taken so far have not been easy by any stretch, so...
I don't think that we're easy people to be with. Maybe we're just the best, and we just deal with the hardest, because we're the best. She just, like, crosses her leg and just, like, has a cheeky smile on her face.
Don't go getting too far ahead of yourself, Lindsay.
I don't know. My forks have been very useful. Knights have to use swords.
Anyways, of the four possible jobs here, Ark's gonna kind of point to the 2 higher end ones. I'm leaning more towards these 2. Primarily the wizard tower. The creature, it would be doable, but it would be difficult.
My 80 gold sounds amazing per person, by the way.
I agree, it's very enticing, but the fact that they're willing to offer that much per person, regardless of the group size, makes me think it's not going to be an easy job. Doable, but not easy.
Well, we're not fighting anything immortal. We're just beating the shit out of something until it falters a little bit. Hoist it back to where it should be.
God, you make it sound so simple.
Well, it is. There's a way of looking at things inside and outside the box, right? Ultimately, we're just smacking it like really hard, and we all have our different abilities. I mean, you can summon the sun. Looks at Zora. I've had better luck with a fork than an actual weapon. Ark, you have a literal dragon. And you are also a literal dragon born.
Mm-hmm.
There's always good things that come with that. Hannah. It's horrifying, but we don't have. We could take this thing.
Something we should also talk about is potentially setting aside at least one day a week, maybe two, for me and Hannah to go be Medicates at the Fighters Guild.
Oh?
All right.
Just we can get a bit of gold and a reputation, possibly gain more gold as we do more work. We would have to be there the entire day.
Understandable.
Sounds like you guys are going to be very
And-
exhausted.
And if you think about it, this could also be beneficial to us. Promote our soon-to-be open establishment.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But safety of others first, and promotions afterwards.
Of course, but still. All right, so I guess our question is, what do we wish to do? Seems the more tame option would be the wizard's help.
Now let's wait for Hannah to be on her existence first for making decisions.
Very well.
Still can't believe we deal with ethereal dogs for 8 gold. That's amazing.
I mean, something we could do is head to the White Hat and look up information about these Pharaoh Gators. And then
I don't think I've
decide.
ever been to the White Hat. Sure.
It's a nice place.
It is. It's where I've been going for my studies.
Also, the wedding. Don't forget the wedding.
Well, the one thing we have 2 weeks on, and it just seems to be you and I are invited to that one.
Yeah, but it's a lot on the list of things we have to deal with.
Alright, so.
Yes.
Has any sense of a decision been made?
Not as of yet until Sketch gets back. It's only fair.
That's true. And honestly, I think I might grab a snack. So if y'all want to take
Go
time
for it.
and grab a snack, we may.
5-minute break.
I'm doing model work on the side. I'm also doing this. I gotta shut this off.
I can't believe we walked into a conversation about that.
Breast milk.
Tea milk.
Take.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're about to go grab a snack real quick. It'll be
I got
3
an
minutes
apple.
while y'all discuss what y'all want
Ooh.
to do.
Hell yeah.
So the current ideas is we go look up information about these potential Pharaoh Gator. See
Mhm.
if we can potentially handle it. If so, possibly do that. If not, probably deal with the magical cleanup.
HD, you're also streaming your screen of Unity.
Yeah, no. All right.
Alright, just check.
This is like amidst the intermission.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the general consensus they kind of all came to is the 2 8 gold jobs, not worth it. The blink dogs, yeah, no, that's way too little gold for that much of a headache. And the shopkeeper who's saying don't open their wares, that just reeks of shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
The creature return, the 80 gold per person, they're looking at, but they would also need to get some supplies, rope and some like potential non-lethal substitutes. So of the 4, the immediate one they're possibly looking at is the wizard tower cleanup.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yep. We'll tag that back up when we get back.
Strength's wrong.
Something we also have to decide is how many days a week we want Zoe and Hannah to go being medicated.
Mm-hmm.
But that was obviously something for you two to discuss, not.
It's something to be brought out to the group, see what they were thinking as well.
She would like to build
Because
rep
that,
with them.
because this affects our plans for the week and day.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did.
Hmm. She's currently studying medicine to do better at that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she might want to prioritize that. Get that like out of the way first.
And also, one other thing they were debating is actually taking another trip to the White Hat to see if they can learn any info on the gator that they're contemplating taking the job for.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just going to the wedding and you're like your hallway costume.
Well, hey, my Halloween costume is dapper. Yours is cartoonish.
Yeah. It's like, well,
Mine's
shit.
badass.
Fucking, I'm Sora. Let's go.
I'm just a straight up hunter.
Did you say you're a what?
Hunter.
A hunter.
A hunter. I thought you said plumber. Like Mario?
No.
Doot.
Old hunter.
Yeah. Right, go out and
Meanwhile,
kill a few beasts.
Meanwhile, my outfit, trying to find the image again.
I think I still have them all saved. Yes. I believe
Nice.
this one was arcs.
Yep. Like, you look at that and you tell me that's not classy AF.
Hell yeah.
Nice, it is.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, does it change your skin
Maybe.
at all?
I'm going to assume no, but even still, like, the image in that picture, the guy's pale and arc scales are pretty pale, so
You gotta
not
get
really
rid
much
of
of a
that.
difference.
Gotta get rid of that.
I mean,
that,
just clothing.
Cape. Yeah. Cape.
I don't know, what? You're not keen on the one Batwing?
No caps. No caps.
Okay, take it easy there, Edna.
Mr. One Winged Angel.
Oh my god! Wow, damn. Ever since I watched that movie, I'm like, it makes actual sense why capes are the worst.
Yeah.
But it does make you look badass still. I can't lie. I mean, Batman still rocks and he's been whooping ass since time.
That's why you get a shorter cape.
Or a half
Then you look
cape.
like a helldiver.
So, completely unrelated, can I just say something a bit TMI?
Yeah.
But
Do you want to say it on the
It's-
stream, question mark?
yeah, I'm so sorry if I'm like kind of out of it or something in my Shark Week. I can't focus right now. Yeah,
You're good.
You're fine. I respect it. You are fine, and at least we're in the know.
Yeah, whenever you need to step away, just feel free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You take care of you.
I'll send you a thing. Gesture. There you go.
Ooh. I don't have anything like that.
If you find any. What was it? Okay. Is Aaron getting a snack or is he having a meal? Please bring some back for the rest of us, mate.
Hello from the other side.
Buongiorno.
Hello?
It's back.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
So, everyone back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, carry on with the conversation. What's been agreed upon?
All right. So, how do we want to proceed here? I say of the 4 jobs, 2 of them are doable, if one is a little more dangerous. I feel the wizard one might be a good one to start, and then possibly use the funds from that to aid in the creature capture.
So we have supply. Yeah. Good point.
We can go in to the White Hat and see if we can find information on this creature. See if it's something we even want to consider taking on.
That is a very viable option as well. If any place would have info on this thing, it would be them.
Because if it's something we don't believe we can even take on in the first place, then using the gold we get from the magic cleanup wouldn't matter.
Would be a frivolous waste. I hear what you're saying.
I agree.
All right. So then, do we wish to take a quick trip to the White Hat before we continue on?
Sounds
See
like
maybe
it.
if they know which tower it is that we need to visit for this cleanup.
Yeah.
That sounds valid, yeah.
All right. Then let's make our way to the White Hat.
Okay. You all decide to head on back out over and traverse over to the White Hat. So, as expected, I'm going to go ahead and bring y'all over to the Waterdeep Market, and y'all enter into what is the majestic sight of the White Hat's entrance, a very large building with, as expected, a white giant hat at the top as a roof. Upon entering, you see one of the probably 30 different arias catering around, carrying off books, putting them back into different places. And do y'all decide to swap any of them? Or do y'all want to make your own ways around?
We can look around for a little bit first.
Okay.
I know Hannah on her own might want to ask one if there's any bestiary books for like beginner readers that her kid is very interested in.
Her baby.
Okay.
Lindsay's gonna
Um,
actually look more into the billboards.
Okay. Bill forts or pill forts? Now we have
Fuck.
God naming conventions.
Christ.
The winery or the wedding?
The wedding or the people.
Understood. Bill forts.
Yeah.
Okay. And last
Ark would go with Zoran. Ark would go to Zoran about the gator.
All right. We'll get to Hannah first. Hannah, you go ahead and begin to approach one of the Arias that she seems to be, just in case you're still wanting a visual on the Aria woman herself. Do believe she's already on the map? Yep, right here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yep,
Whoa.
as she seems to just smile and notice your approach. Oh, hi, what do you need?
Hi. I was wondering if you have books for like kids that are like interested in subjects and stuff. I have a kid at home that's interested in like learning about animals, bestiary stuff. Do you have
Bestiary
anything like
for
that?
children. What age demographic?
Oh, probably young teen, like
Oh, young teens.
10, 13.
Okay, I think that'll work then. So I do believe we have some beginner bestiaries, as well as slight notes on starting your own, as well, in case he has an interest in that. Yeah, they'd be in that aisle over there. She points up to what is the probably third-story floor of bookshelves. Up
Alright,
that
and I still have another book that I'm still reading for myself. Is it alright for me to get this book for him?
Is that the only other book that you have?
Yes.
You may check out up to at least 6 books.
Alright, this will be my second one.
Alright, very well. Yeah, no, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much.
She gives a nod, smiles. Let me know if you need any more help, alright?
And Hannah would probably just go about getting that book herself and all that, and catching up with like Zol and them. So that's just what she'd be doing on her end.
So you get the Beginner's Guide to Beasts and Mythical Creatures.
Hell yeah.
Alright,
Should probably
next...
sorry, Hannah would probably just skim it to make sure it's something that she thinks is like easy enough for A2 to read, or if not, she'd happily read alongside or whatever, that kind of
It goes
shit.
into some of the basic characteristics of creatures, not as in-depth as, like, a standard bestiary would go, but it actually gives a side note on all of the, like, more folk tales of them, and some historical guides on some of the creatures that were more notable in the world. Say, for instance, yeah, you can know about a gold dragon, but do you know about this named gold dragon and his history? It kind of goes into that.
Hell yeah. Cool. That's all I was curious about.
Okay. Next up, we'll go for HD.
Alright.
So, what is it you're doing again?
She's just looking through any books relating to
Billboard.
billboards, yeah. And also
Are you
it's like skimming.
Are you
Hmm?
Are you by yourself looking for these books, or?
She is by herself, yeah. She would also look, see if there's any other relevant mysteries that have been solved by them.
Oh boy. Roll me a 1d1000.
1d1?
1d100.
100.
No, 1000.
A 1000.
What? What?
Oh, 1d1000 because you're trying to look through this entire place by yourself for this book.
Guiding a needle through a haystack, my friend. This is the
Jesus.
largest city of the largest library in the world of Faerun.
107.
507. Currently, you go through the aisles of different historical figures, at least being able to identify that, but seeing the almost slightly endless corridor of many multitudes of books, you wander around and eventually pulling out what you thought might have been billboards, but actually just seems to be this book which has some sort of like hand with six different fingers on it. Weird looking hand.
What is this?
A book with a handprint of 6 fingers.
What? Who? How? You know what? Why am I asking these questions to myself when these things clearly exist? I already been to a place where these things exist. This is nothing new for me.
How many times can I attempt to search? Is there a limit?
You may attempt to search as many times as you please.
I think there's a gratuitous amount of times to search before you get really annoyed. She's gonna take another look again.
Sorry.
Okay. 1d1000.
Even worse. Jesus.
299. You'll pull out this black pristine books of historical figures, and upon opening it, a page of the book turns into a hand and slaps you across the face. Immediately, the memories of one historical figure is transplanted into your mind. Only a hint, a slight fraction of the memory you can recall, and that is the memory of just somebody in a bubble bath.
How is anybody supposed to read this one, and why is it here for this?
Wait, do I take damage?
Nah.
Okay, thank you. Don't do that to me. Sort of God. Alright, she's gonna look another time. Again.
What the?
It's just going down really now, is it?
175. Looking through, you keep walking down, and effectively, you actually find the one book which seems to first have the name Bill on it.
Oh.
But the book suddenly projectiles itself from the shelf and glides down the hall.
So wait, I just managed to read the first part before it started moving itself, did it?
Yep.
Her eyes are just like... She's gonna take another look. Like, that can't be it. This will be the last one she attempts to do. How the fuck you pay fucking guys still?
This one, actually, as you begin to pull out, is actually that of a slightly more historical feature of oddities within a particular area of Faerun, an area that doesn't seem to be immediately labeled, but seems to have this shack as the main photo of printed upon the book. On it says the Mystery Shack.
She takes that one, actually.
Okay.
You know.
All I'm gonna say is, with that being your last roll for a book, you actually got so fucking incredibly close to the specific book you were looking for. The number was 500.
Oh.
I'm not even fucking with you. The
Fuck.
closer you get to the number, the more information on the similar type of subject you get.
Still, that's a 1 in 1,000, man.
Yeah, no, she got
You
the
searched
mystery
the
one.
grand fucking library. What did you expect?
I no, for some reason I didn't instill in thought that grand library was big. I just thought, ooh, library, and then look underneath index letter B and go on from there. But alas, yeah. So she takes that book, and, rubbing her face after being slapped. She goes and sits down and starts skimming through it. Perhaps there's a page on. It's a mystery book. Is it mystery solved or just mysteries in general?
All it says was the mystery shop, and just shows the photo at the front.
She just reads through, see what mysteries have been or haven't been solved.
Okay. So, we'll then get to Zoran and Ark. What are y'all approaching about?
I would think Ark would know better than to try and wander these halls aimlessly. He would probably try and flag down one of the clones. Or
You
one-
even actually noticed one of the Aryas who was effectively walking on thin air, carrying a different plethora of books to one of the grander, taller library stations, and just kind of looks down. Oh, just kind of sets the tray aside and begins to actually just drop down right next to you. What can I help you with?
Looking for bestiary books about what's the creature again, Zoran?
I believe it's a ferrogator.
Ferrogator. One of those. Alright. I believe that would be in Beast 304. Come along with me.
Follow along.
Following.
You go into this aisle that is named Grandeur Anomalies. And she eventually pulls out what is this bestiary, which has a lot of different labeled, almost transformative creatures that seem to evolve from one stage to another. One seemed to be a smaller, more crocodile creature, turning into eventually what you'd be labeled as the Ferrogator, in which she opens up the page. This blue bulky motherfucker. That's literally what people have nicknamed this thing. I hate the nickname. Right, here you go. I believe this is what you're looking for.
Thank you very much. You saved us quite a bit of headache, I'm assuming. I would bet trying to wander these shells without aid.
Lindsay sneezes in the background.
It could be quite the challenge for others, but one that I welcome for anyone to try. Either way though, if there's anything you need, just shoot a shot at one of us. Just gives an nod.
Of course.
Thank you very much. Guess next thing would be to start looking for a table or something I could sit at to start reading.
Oh, there's plenty of them. Okay, so info gather time.
Yippee!
EP.
EP.
Besides just obtaining the one book, what is Hannah up to actually?
She'd probably try and make a way to finding the others again. If she can't, because this library is pretty big, she might just be vibing or just interested in looking up random history to do with her neck of the woods, like her family or like other things to do with just like her practice, religion, just miscellaneous stuff like that.
Okay, well,
Just out of curiosity, because she knows what
is
she's looking at, but that's about it, really.
It is a decently sized library, and as stated, some of y'all split off into small groups. I would say, yeah, no. If you would you ask about it, or would you try to find it yourself? Important question.
She'd probably ask about it, though I'm not really sure how to word it.
Depending on what you ask is the kind of book that you'll get, so... I'm assuming you flag one of the Aryas down?
Mm-hmm.
She seems to just like trot on over. Oh, what can I help you with?
Um, I was wondering if you had any information on particular gods or practices, like religion. It's a bit hard to pinpoint this one. Uh, I've got names like the river, Fred's, things like that.
Well, I do believe we do have some station study books. Not as much as the obvious choirs would in terms of their own subjects of study, but we do have quite the plethora of a selection. Let me take a look real quick. She seems to be kind of studying a book of her own, actually, as she pulls out. And eventually, kind of actually pinpoints with a kind of like a mage hand aesthetic which way to go. Oh, apparently we go this way.
All right.
Okay. And she smiles and makes her own way. Okay, this is the Station Dove. What did you say the name was? Looking through the different assortments of books.
Either river or threads. Usually something like that. I'm just interested in general history or if anyone's got anything around this areas or the swamp to do with
Religious
that.
practices with rivers and threads. Okay. Looking through, eventually she does find what apparently this is old brownish book, pulling it out with a representation of that of two fingers and a skull. Okay, here we are. I believe this is the tale of Old Man Thread.
Mm-hmm.
Different levels of disciples as well.
Thank you. Let's just have a light read and I'll be sure to put it back.
She smiles. Oh, no worries. You can just leave the books on the table. They'll find their way around.
Oh, that's lovely.
In which
Yeah,
case,
Hannah would just be generally reading that out of interest of like history around that kind of thing.
understood. So, with that, I think the then we'll go with. I think the basic knowledge of what Lindsay's trying to go for first. Lindsay,
Yes.
you end up sitting down with the books upon the Mystery Shack, and it actually first thing shows a picture this of a family, two people in particular. This kind of scruffy, thinner young man with a smile, with a larger, more bulkish, but and more like almost rougher exterior, smiling man seem to be related, wrapping an arm around them. This seems to be going into the history behind the actual Mystery Shack in terms of the people who actually used to run it. And of course, the names of them are of the most direct, considering the name is Ford beside each name.
Hell. Jesus.
And this is the names labeled.
Oh.
The original oranges of Hatford and Rifford.
She just browses through, keeping the Ford part in mind.
Overall, it goes into the direct histories between the shack itself, including some of the factors of how Hatford seemed to disappear at one point, leaving Rifford to run the entirety of the shack. And overall, while he seemed to be much more of a schemer than an actual mystery solver, in time the brothers somehow reunited and began to actually solve mysteries throughout several pints of the Fords families and generations. It seems that their entire family had different left carvings of history that left more and more mysteries to solve, eventually solving an entire forest full of mythological creatures and beginning a bestiary of their own. A bestiary that many thought for a good amount had been lost to time, up until it had been recently rediscovered. For some reason, it is labeled the fact that a triangle seems to be the main staple behind many of the mysteries involved, and yet no one still seems to understand why, having a couple of mysteries that is still have yet to be uncovered. hoping that some adventurers may actually find interest to partake.
Hmm.
The last page you actually see is a coordinates written down in a very direct cursive.
Now this is just vandalism, but very useful vandalism. Let's see. Uh, Lindsay's gonna put her hand up and try to flag somebody down.
One of the Arya seems to come over. Oh, yes. What do you require?
Can I get a paper and pencil?
She smiles, and as some of them apparently appears right next to them. Sure,
Thank you very much.
of course. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Absolutely. Does she like disappear?
No, she just kind of walks away.
Okay. Oh well, she's not as long as because Lindsay's been nervous about doing this, but basically what she's doing, she's gonna take the paper and pencil and sort of just like lightly rub the side of the pencil to trace out the indented coordinates.
I see what you're doing.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Taking a rubbing of the coordinates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna do that.
Understood.
Yeah. Without damaging the book in any way. That's the least of that she doesn't want to do that at all. And then
Understood.
she did try to keep a keen eye out and seeing if there's any Bill Ford as she has read the other Fords. But presumably not if she did.
No Bill Ford labeled in the name, it seems.
Interesting. But Ford nonetheless.
Ford nonetheless.
Well, not a fruitless adventure on this one. Plus a little extra could lead to riches, but we'll have to see. She
Mhm.
closes up the book and then puts it back, and then makes her way back to the others.
Next up, we'll go for Zoran. What is it that you're looking into again in terms of obtaining? Anything else before moving on to what your study is?
We're just looking into the Ferrogators, basically.
Okay. So there's nothing else besides that. Understood.
Just
With
trying to
this,
get an idea of whether we're safe or not to engage.
beyond that, you know that a Ferrogator seems to be the final stage of a creature. Larger in size and definitely that of a greater depth when it comes to water. Very adept, very agile, walking on two stomping feet, but with long, very bulky arms. This thing is known to be fierce when actually applied with a coordinated partner. These things can be tamed by people in time. Mostly used in the previous parts as either very heavy tests for upcoming adventurers, or in some cases, utilized as battle mounts by others. But one step or another, these things have proven their name depending on which one you fight, in terms of where they are in terms of their age and evolution. If any of them should actually get past the age of 100, then they are labeled to be marked for a high guard team to be disposed of. However, if any of them seem to be ranged below 40, then it should be fine for young adventurers to still pursue as an adventure.
If I had to guess, if it's at the Fighters Guild, I'd imagine it'd be younger in age.
Indeed. Possibly one of the fighters looking to turn it into a mount of some sort.
Or potentially a training aid for new adventurers.
That too.
Does it say roughly how
It's-
big these things can get?
Overall, their max height had not been fully recorded, but it does say that the average tends to be around 8 to 9 feet.
8 to 9 feet.
Hmm. If we take this thing on in the water, it will definitely have the advantage. If we can somehow get it out of the water, perhaps out of the sewers if it's still down there, then perhaps we may have a bit more of an edge on this.
Or just get rid of water. Smirks.
I'm not even going to ask how you plan to drain the entire sewer system of Waterdeep to do that.
Not the entire water system, at least a section of it, if we can block some of it off.
That would assume we can get it to stay in one section long enough for us to do so. If it's aware that we are trying to get it, then there's a good chance it'll take off for the nearest exit before we have a chance to block it off.
I might be able to do something.
Still, at least we have some more information about what this creature is. At the very least, now I feel a bit more confident in our ability to take it on.
If I can get about 30 feet of rope, I can try to cast that one spell I've been thinking about.
I mean, a rope should be a relatively inexpensive item to get, though obviously we're probably going to want some quality stuff.
For this, I don't think it needs to be too high quality rope.
If we're looking to try and capture one of these big boys, taps an image on the book, we're probably not going to want the cheap stuff.
Well,
Whatever
what
design you're trying.
for this thing I'm trying to do, it becomes magical, so I doubt they can easily break it.
Be that as it may. Okay. Perhaps not, but one way or the other. At least now we have some better idea of what we're going on.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Do we want to take this with us so we can study it some more, or put it back?
We can probably jot down all the more important information.
We can. Alright. If that's how you want to go about this, let's go. Let's get this done and let's see if we can find the others.
Okay.
I mean, we could take the book with us if we wanted to just check it out. It's not that big of a deal.
From what you can tell, in terms of the direct information, you know that they have a 20-foot cone water breath weapon. That the most dangerous things you need to watch out for are their claws and bites, effectively. And water is its most dangerous terrain. However, because they seem to be so aquatic, lightning seems to have a great use for it.
Makes sense.
But you also understand that it may have a few resistances as well, so be careful.
What about cold-based? What about cold-based damage? Would that also be effective, given that it's water?
You check upon it, and so far, cold-based resistance, it actually has a resistance to cold, considering they can also be found and utilized in cold water terrains.
Damn. I was gonna say, they've got a cone of water breath, I've got a cone of cold breath.
I know this is probably shot in dark, but does it say roughly how intelligent these creatures may be?
Nothing of its intelligence is directly noted, mostly because, as you could probably tell, that is actually very case-by-case dependent when it comes to these potential creatures. It seems that many of them seem to be more intelligent, while some of them seem to be wildly animalistic depending on if they're trained or not. So it could lean one way to the other.
I think we can infer at least some level of intelligence on this particular one if it managed to escape the Fighters Guild and knew to escape into the sewers.
Could just be instinct. Could be coincidence.
One way or the other. I say we take the book for now. Alright, let's go see if we can find the others. See if they had any luck with their ventures.
Next up, Hannah, I believe it would be your book.
Mm-hmm.
So you begin to open in with apparently is this very, very old book. It is dried pages, almost weird to the texture of your fingers. But as you begin to skim through, notedly, it seems to be automatically trying to translate into whatever language seems to be your direct base.
Hmm.
The
Is
first
there any
thing that
note on the original language?
the original language seems to actually be somewhat based upon more of a symbolisms, actually. Probably an age before language itself was as more direct.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that you can tell in reading upon is more or less not necessarily a direct content of history, considering you would need a far bigger book for anything like that to be recorded. But it is kind of a general sense biography. A direct one-to-one with whoever's reading it, is to get an understanding and a direct knowledge of what it is they are. A sense of balance. A line between life and death. Not a god between either or, but the staple that keeps them both in line, as well as a coordinated check balance between when there is too much life and when there is too much death. A old man, a old line of thread that did not start from directly in the world, but came to being because of a necessity after a argument between life and death had occurred. Life and death were not always one of unison, but rather that of constant struggle. Never has there ever been a direct decision as to how long something should live, which way things should live, and how things should die. Age was still an idea rather than that of the actual rules and construction when it comes to the world, when it comes to the gods. And therefore, balance had to then be made. What general information are you hoping to glean in this book, if there's anything that you would like to try to skip to?
If there's any other, I suppose, people of note or places or things in recent history, I guess, and also this area.
There had been actually some sense of staple within shrines that he had once held. One shrine being noted to be at one point actually in Baldur's Gate before the city had been built. Seemingly some kind of underground passage with some sort of artistic drawing to showcase it. Another one had actually been much more recognizable, that of a beginning to grow sapling. At first, you did not recognize the drawing of the image placed beside it until you actually read what was next to it, which was the name of your forest. Before all the plush life and actual lake and everything had been established, a family simply planted a seed and began their signs of thank and worship towards him. A sign that he himself, as you could tell, wrote, as it says, "I was quite flattered by the first signs of worship by a humble family," enough to actually record their generosity here. My, how I wish I could simply visit.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing seems to be that of some recorded areas and people who still hold to this sign of worship. A few names, many of them recognized as to being your parents, but others that you don't quite recognize actually. There's about
Ooh.
4 names in total recorded within the book, probably that of more people of note that started the shrines than anything else. There's one seemingly be just labeled in Baldur's Gate, one that is not too far from Waterdeep, as in your established forest, and one that seems to actually take place near Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to have these names written down, or are you just gleaming through further?
Yeah, she's definitely interested in the names of people. She's very curious. Like, I'll just say, like, what her thought process is if there are other people or places that her family or father might have known, and she's kind of curious about these names, so she might look into them.
These are all the names that seem to have been recorded, excluding your parents' names, of course.
Okie dokie. Cool. That's pretty much all she was interested in, I think. I don't know if she can really look up those people or if there's anything else from skimming.
There's almost any name you could try to attempt to look up, really. You could look up your family's history. You could look up some of the history of the people that had been labeled in the book.
Because she honestly doesn't know too much or wasn't really told, but she might be. She'd like to look up her own family history, actually.
Okay. Upon requesting from Arya again, she would actually hand deliver you a book, smiling. This is everything that I could find. Only one book seems to be recorded about such a heritage. Apologies if it's insufficed, though.
That's quite alright.
Okay. In which case, handing you the book, you begin to skim through what is actually, for the most part, a journal. In particular,
Hmm.
your father's journal. Noting the different steps and stages that his family part took, actually, and kind of just being the first one to decide to record further into his family's history, starting from his point. He went over to how his father was, showing a family photo between him being a little bit younger, probably, you would say, probably 18, actually. Having a photo by himself alongside his father about the growing tree in a much more grown in state at this point. Probably the beginning steps of building the home. From there, actually, it goes from one step to another, recording his journey effectively, his stay, his beginning partnerships, the lessons that he's learned from just studying the essence of balance, how it can derive into an almost sign of both wisdom, but almost a sense of divinity the moment that you're having a connection between the direct connections between life and death itself. Not just the manipulation of one part, but the aspects of gaining both, being able to give life, receive life, and conjure life in defense. But the most direct thing is actually, it begins to steer away from his personal connection between life and death, and begins as he meets a very vibrant young woman, actually. Going into the aspects of his familyhood. It goes from more of a personal project to a recording for his personal life, his family. Moving into his beloved, uh, beginning to build the remnants and remainders of the house, but in a much more recognizable fashion now. actually showing signs of the mother smiling with the husband holding her belly, showing the signs of a great grand future. You do recognize in the photo, however, that there is the book. The recognizable book that had been gifted and left upon you, that had unfortunately been taken before you could have the claim to your rightful duty. A book that, in time, you recognize that you must seek out in the vault. But there was one last photo before the journal itself seems to stop, more than likely set down due to the duties that your father must uphold. That is the picture of him, you, probably you would estimate maybe 8 or 9, the mother, and that of a little girl next to you, seemingly hugging you in the photo.
Ah, shit, dude. Uh-uh.
Oh shit.
Which, upon seeing, immediately begins to strike a chord with you. Almost immediately, you find yourself finding it harder and harder to actually physically look away from the girl.
Yo, do I need to wisdom check that stuff at all? 'Cause...
First, make me my con save.
Oh, shit.
Ah shit, here we go again.
Alright.
15. Shaking and almost a little bit violent in the reaction from your body as it's trying to seemingly knock you out of this. You pretty much steer strong. You're not losing your lunch. You're not fainting. Your body's able to maintain itself, if not barely at the point. But your mind, that is where the wisdom must come in now.
Wisdom save time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
How far away are
Holy
we?
shit.
Oh,
20. Before you make a separation between the image and your eyes, probably violently looking away, the only thing your remnant is left of an unfamiliar voice screaming before you finally look around to the silent library.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh god.
oh, past trauma, emotional damage. Yippee.
Yippee!
Man, she would not have expected this. I mean, despite those really good numbers, I know she is having a hard time with that one. Does she... Is it pretty obvious, like, who that is to her, or is things muddied? Do I need to do any other kind of check for that? Like,
The
insight or...
best way that I can manage it, the face was familiar to you. You can't put any further connections on it, and you can kind of recognize when trauma mixed in with a different altitude. You're wise enough for this. You know that you would particularly blocked this person out from your mind and body. Probably, from what you can estimate, probably a long time ago, given how little you actually do remember. But you recognize that face very deeply, almost to the point where you're now beginning to physically cry, notably from its absence. As
No
if your body
problem.
is screaming at you to go back to that
No
page.
problem, HD.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Alright,
bye.
later.
Later.
Ugh.
Hannah would probably catch that she's like crying, right? And
It seems like a lot of God, you fucking fire energy. It's having a toll on me. It seems like it's just nothing combat related tonight, so at least I'm able to leave with a safe mind state, knowing that Lindsay's just gonna have to go back home from the library. That's about it. Y'all stay safe. Everyone says good night. I'm out this piece. Lizzie, thank you for the follow. For joining. Also, I want to give a really quick shout out to Snowy from last night, Rankin-chan. They popped into stream whilst I was busy and said hi, and also gave me a sub. I was not able to thank them for such. I do appreciate it. She knows that for sure. Snowy's been around since time, so bless Snowy's soul, amazing person. Yeah, that's it on my end. Have yourselves a good night. Take care. Stay safe. See you guys on stream.
Go ahead.